Hey, this is Craig the Poolman with Pool Specialist. Today we have a short instructional video for you on how to repair or rebuild a 2-port or 3-port pool valve. Some people refer to these as Jandy valves. I think Jandy was probably the first to make them more popular. They can be purchased from Pentair, from Jandy, from Hayward, and also CMP. They are typically the workhorse of the pool industry, and many times what you'll find is that this happens to be an actuator, and with the pump up here, this particular valve is the one that you have the most amount of problems with. And a lot of times you can't see it because it's underneath the actuator. So what we're going to have to do is take the actuator off. And if you're having problems priming your pump, or you get a lot of air in your pump, there is a good chance that the O-rings on the valve underneath this need to be replaced. They cause a lot of problems. Typically the actuator, when it turns, it's going to wear them out a whole lot faster. The other O-rings will wear, and frequently you'll only get about 3 years before you'll have to replace the O-rings. So we're going to go ahead and give you a demonstration. Of course, first we have to remove this actuator, and there are 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, that we're going to go ahead and remove. These are actually what's called a P3 Phillips head. That's what's going to fit the best. So you just go ahead and remove these. Now that will expose our valve underneath. And normally if you didn't have the actuator, you would have another screw here, 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 and here. Now at this point we just have to remove these screws. So at this point we have removed all the screws. We're going to go ahead and use the handle to pull the valve body guts out of the actual valve body. This is keyed. If you try to put it in the wrong direction, it will not fit. So you'll notice that this notch is a little bit smaller than the other notches, and of course that is the notch that has the off closest to it. So if we go ahead and we put that on, we put our screw on, because we're going to need that to pull it off. And at this point, just kind of pull it gently, and you'll see that it comes out rather easily. What you'll find is, here's my door, and I've spoke about this in a lot of the videos, that door literally closes the pipe. So there is your door. On the return side, it's very unusual that this will get destroyed, but on the suction side, frequently you can get rips in this little silicone seal that goes around that locks or closes that door. So if you're having problems with your spa, draining, or issues with your pool, you could have a break in this actual silicone. So always examine that. Alright, but that's typically not the part that fails. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our handle off. And then we're going to pull the actual valve out. And if you twist it, it comes out a little bit easier. Sometimes the O-rings will stay on here, and sometimes the O-rings stay in here. You'll notice that you have 2 of these O-rings. 1, 2. And these are actually a number 13 O-ring. What does that mean? Well, I don't know. Somebody somewhere's decided that was their number. But it's a 7/8 outside diameter, an 11/16 inside diameter, and the actual width of the O-ring is 3/32. We're going to go ahead and show you where you can purchase these. You can purchase these at Home Depot. You can purchase these at Lowe's. You can purchase them on Amazon. You'll notice that I have nitrile gloves on, and you may say, oh, well, why do you have that on? Well, we're going to use, again, Parker lube. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this lube and we're going to just squirt a little bit about this all around the shaft. And you want to wear gloves because this stuff does not come off easily. So you go ahead and you put plenty of that on the shaft. And now we're going to take our O-rings and we're going to slide them on the shaft. Again, these are number 13. You can purchase them at Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon, wherever. It's a pretty common O-ring. It would be in your plumbing section, of course. And put those on and make sure that you've got plenty of lubricant on the one side. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put lubricant or sealer, whatever you want to call it, on the outside. And this is a silicone sealer. It's specifically designed, it's actually designed for aircraft, but it works really, really well in the pool industry. We're going to set that aside for a minute, and then you'll also notice that there's an O-ring here. This O-ring, very rarely will you ever have to replace it. And then we're going to go ahead and take our lube and put it around here. Go ahead and take your finger and make sure that it's there. Go ahead and put your O-ring back on. And it should fit tightly. Again, you want to cover that O-ring. This will definitely make that seal work a whole lot better and prevent the air from coming in. So now I've got this all lubed up. I have this O-ring all lubed up. As long as this doesn't have any breaks or rips in it, go ahead and reuse it. Put that back in, and you can now take this and set this in place. We can go ahead and put our screws back in. Again, we're going to use a number 3 Phillips head for these screws to fit it correctly. And if we have an actuator, we'll put our screw here. And you don't want to tighten it down too tight because you could actually crack that little ear off. And then try to go to some opposing point. We don't want to put these in because this one right here, that hole is for the actuator, that hole is for the actuator, that one, and that one. So we're going to go ahead and put the opposing one in. Then we come back up to the top. You'll notice that I'm just kind of snugging them. I'm not putting them real tight at this point. And you want them to thread easily. If they're not threading easily, you're probably cross-threading it, and you want to back it off and make sure that it actually threads in easily. There should be a little bit of resistance, but not a whole lot. And if you cross-thread them, you could potentially crack the valve body, which then would cause a leak as well. And typically it's going to cause an air leak, which is going to prevent the pump from holding prime or priming up correctly. So here we have our actuator. We're going to put our actuator back on. It may take a little bit of manipulation because we're not connected, we're not lined up correctly. And so now we're lined up. You'll see that it fits on perfectly. We tighten up the screws for our actuator. I like to put the handles back on because that way I can see what's actually happening with the actuator. Don't be too lazy not to put the retaining screw back into the top of it. And there you have it, completed. This should solve any problems that you have with the air being sucked into your pump. If this is happening on the return side, you're going to see the water actually coming out of the valve stem, and the same repair would work on the return side as on the suction side. Okay, that concludes our short video on how to repair or rebuild a 2-port or 3-port pool valve. If you found it helpful and instructional, please drop us a like. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.